Hello, YouTubers, friends, compatriots, bootlicker shills, death slay, service peasants, vassals, minions, meat sacks. I'm Useful Idiot. Welcome. And well, let's talk about negative interest rates. Let's go global. And I did one video before about negative interest rates, and I thought the alarm was sounded a little prematurely because what we've seen is negative interest rates operating with central banks, and of course the Bank of Japan and the Bank of Ireland and Bank of Ulster are using negative interest rates, but it really didn't affect um, retail customers so much. One of the more recent stories was a small Bavarian bank. They only have about a little over 5,000 customers, but as of last September, any savings over $100,000 pays negative 0.4, and those are retail bank deposits, but only 150 people were affected. So once again, I just didn't think this discussion about what would happen if negative interest rates came after retail customers, because that hasn't been happening that much so far. So like I say, the fear mongers out there, a little premature, but now it's getting interesting because now we have a couple of major European banks starting to introduce negative interest rates for a broad swath of retail customers. So now it is getting interesting. And now if we see more of this, it's going to be a really very bizarre and tragic development to see unfold. And one of them is Royal Bank of Scotland. Oddly enough, RBS, which is mostly owned by the UK government, now pays negative interest rates on large deposits starting last August, and it affects a lot of large corporate customers. Interesting time, of course, with the Brexit, and then we have the response of the Bank of England to all this is setting rates at 0.25%. So they're edging closer to zero or negative interest rates. But so RBS is stepping up, and like I say, ironic because there's ostensibly public owned. But now we also have the Post Bank, a subsidiary of Deutsche Bank, will charge depositors 3.9 pounds a month for the deposits. So we're seeing a very serious use of negative interest rates in this bank. It's going to affect 5.3 million customers, and so that's like I say, moving against retail customers. So we have other small regional banks in Switzerland and Germany, and like I mentioned earlier, Ireland, that are moving towards these negative interest rates. And it's been a slow process, and I think now that we see a couple of major European banks, Post Bank, part of Deutsche Bank, which is collapsing more or less as we speak, and then RBS, which is 76% owned by the UK government, both taking steps in this direction using negative interest rates. So they will be a thermometer to see what will happen with these negative interest rates, what the effects will be, and then with a little bit more time, we may or may not see more banks adapting this policy depending on what they think of the results that we see with these banks. But so there we have it, negative interest rates moving towards retail customers at a couple of major banks now. So this negative interest rate story is getting a lot more interesting. I'm a Useful Idiot. Don't you be one too.